Welcome to the Fitmama podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and Fitmama health coach, Angela Campbell.
Hey, Fit Mompreneur community. I'm excited about today's training, and I want to answer questions if you have any. So definitely, I hope your week is starting off amazing. I hope last week was amazing for you. And if it wasn't, look at today and this week and every single day that you wake up is always a fresh start. We all have opportunity to do that. So in today's training, we're talking about our hormones. We're going to talk about things that are affecting them, some causes of imbalances. Hey, Shauna, what is up? So if you are on here now and able to, say hi in the comments. I'd love to say hi back or share replay below if you're catching this later, as I know many of you guys do either here or if you're listening in on the podcast, because we do upload these as well and more things on the podcast. Make sure you're in our group. acfitmama.com/Facebook is the easiest way to find us if you're not in here. Hey, Caitlin, what is up? Hey, Melinda. And if you're in here in the group and you're like, podcast, what podcast? Put podcast and I'll share the link with you so you can definitely subscribe. I know sometimes it's easier to listen to replays there. So let's get talking about our hormones today. Ladies, hormones. Oh, I dropped the word hormones in the comments of even just the thought of it is like, oh my gosh, these hormones are just, they're the devil. Hey, Bree, what's up, girl? And I'm going to share an announcement as well too at the end, towards the end of this, or I'll just share a little bit of it now. We've got a free challenge coming up. We haven't done one in a little while in this group. Right now, we've got 12 amazing women in a totally separate group starting our Jumpstart Detox program right now. So, hey, Caitlin, what is up, girl? So today is day one for them in our Jumpstart Detox program, which I'm super excited to help them. We typically see anywhere from 5 to 10 pounds lost in that 11 days together. So, free challenge is going to help you guys with your fitness coming next week. So that's coming. But the thing is what I want to talk about today is the things that we can do. We can't necessarily control our hormones, ladies. Unfortunately, our hormones are something we have to deal with. Our bodies go through a 28-day cycle. That's just how our bodies are made, and we have to accept that first. We have to accept that, and I feel like it's important to understand them a little bit, know the things that we can control that do have an effect negatively and positively on our hormones, so that we know what we can do to live our best life, to show up our best, but also to honor our bodies in the times that suck. Let's just be real, right? Men reset every 24 hours. Women, it is a 28-day cycle. Which is what it is. It's how God made us, and that's okay. We need to just honor that, right? But understanding it and things that impact it can be hugely important. And some women are walking around right now with a huge hormonal imbalance that's causing you to not be showing up as your best self. There's certain things that could be causing it. There's a lot of things that we can control, and there's also things that we cannot control that affect our hormones. We're going to talk about a little bit of both today. And also know that, as your hormones you're going through that menstrual cycle that we go through every single month. Your body, again, goes through cycles. We did a very extensive training a couple weeks ago in our VIP group where we went through the entire cycle of the menstrual cycle, or the entire 4 phases that you go through. I'm not going to go through all those today, but we're going to talk about what you can control, what you can't control. You guys, it's very important for you to understand what you can control and make a decision to change it, right? But first, we're going to talk about some symptoms. I want to talk about some symptoms that you could be experiencing. Now, I also want to tell you a little bit of a story, because I think it's very important before I go through these symptoms. I don't want you to hear these symptoms and think, oh my gosh, my hormones are out of whack. I've got so many of those symptoms, because your hormones may be normal. With some of these symptoms, it might literally be due more to lifestyle than anything else. And I share that because about 2 years ago, when I was at my worst, some of you guys that have heard my story a little bit know, I always talk about 2 years ago. And excuse the noise if you can hear. My husband is mowing outside and he just keeps coming by my window. Timing. But it's all good. Real life. But at the same time, 2 years ago when I was feeling my worst, I was actually experiencing a lot of these symptoms that I'm going to talk about. And to be honest with you, I went to my doctor. I was like, doctor, like help, like check my hormones. There's something wrong. I know I've got, like, they've got to be out of whack. I've got to be low in certain areas. And she's like, no, Angela, we did it. We tested it. Everything came back normal. So this could be you too. But you can be experiencing also some of these hormones. But for me, mine were normal. And she just gave me a little bit of a reality check. It's like, Angela, your hormones are fine. Your lifestyle sucks. And I love my doctor because she's straight up. And she's like, Angela, you're an exhausted mom and an entrepreneur trying to do a lot of things, and you're not taking care of yourself. You're not sleeping, you're not eating right, you're not doing anything for you. You've got to start to get your life back in check and start taking care of you. Now when I just recently went back from my 40 checkup, she goes, way to go, Angela, you've been taking care of yourself. It shows in a lot of different ways. Right? But it took that reality check of like, holy crap, you're right. Like I was reaching for a different reason. I was reaching for, oh, my hormones have got to be out of whack. So I'm going to go get them checked. And it turns out they were totally fine. So as I go through these symptoms, you guys, I wanted to share that story first because you may have a little bit of hormonal imbalance, but you may be totally normal as well and experiencing some of these symptoms that you may just need to change your lifestyle just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to talk about all those things. If you got questions while I'm talking too, drop them below. I'll get them answered as I'm watching comments come up. But here's some symptoms that you may be going through with some hormonal imbalances. Fatigue. Okay, this is a big one. You may be exhausted and trying so hard. You may be doing all the things right, working out, eating right, doing all the things, but just straight up fatigued all the time. It could be hormones, but then again, I really want to stress this because I'm not a doctor. I'm not here telling you if you check off any of these on your list that you've got to have hormone imbalance. But these are some signs. You could be fatigued all the time, like chronic fatigue. No matter what you do, you are just tired. Okay, that is a symptom. Okay, how about weight gain? I know I've talked to so many women. As you all join the group, we typically have chats with you if possible. If you're open to a chat and just shooting you in the direction to something in this community that could help you, right? But weight gain can be one of them. Okay, as our bodies change and if our hormones are out of whack because of different things going on, you could be just all of a sudden hitting that weight gain and you're like, holy cow, where did that 10 pounds come from? Right? If you can relate, put me in the comments. Sometimes that weight gain comes on because our hormones are out of whack. Okay, and we start to go crazy. We're trying to think, okay, what's wrong? What am I doing? We try to do things that we did 10 years ago that aren't working this time around. Well, your body is different. And it's important to understand that. So, just drastic weight gain, which we feel sometimes can be like overnight, but sometimes it's not necessarily as fast as we think. It's an overtime. Weight gain, mood swings, you guys, hello. As we go through that 28-day cycle of our menstrual cycles and our hormones, naturally, we tend to have a little bit of the mood swings going on. But at the same time, if you're constantly having them and you're like, I don't know what is wrong with me. Like, I just want to break down and cry for no freaking reason. It could be a little bit of hormonal imbalance, right? How about trouble focusing? It's a thing. There's a reason why as you're going through that 28-day cycle, like your hormones change throughout that 28-day cycle naturally. But when you have trouble focusing, like when we did our training a couple weeks ago, there was this specific parts of your cycle that it's really good to be aware of your cycle because you can know like when you're in these certain phases of your cycle, it's probably not a good idea to do a lot of heavy thinking. You need to honor your body and understand this is not the time to be creative. This is the time to relax and go through the motions, maybe a little bit more than normal and not do anything that's going to be super mentally taxing. Because again, if your hormones are imbalanced because of our cycle or there's just hormonal imbalance because of other things going on, you might have trouble focusing. How about irregular periods? Guys, I talk to women all the time that their periods are totally out of whack. Could be going for 3 weeks. Could be not having one. It could be all kinds of different, things going on there. How about no sex drive? Like zero desire to be with your husband or your spouse, your significant other, whoever that is in your life, and that's huge symptom. And trouble sleeping, hair loss, and you guys, even bloating. Did you know that bloating can also be a cause of it? Yes, bloating during our cycle, our menstrual cycles that we have every single month, right? Ideally. But at the same time, there can be some other things that we're going to talk about, some of these factors that also can be causing some of the bloating. And those have to do with some of the factors that affect our hormones. Okay. And that's what I'm going to get into now. And then we're going to talk about some positive things that you can start doing to positively influence your hormones. Okay. So let's talk about some of the factors, right? So we talked about some of the symptoms, and I'm going to say it again. If you're listening, know that just because you're experiencing some of these doesn't mean they're out of whack. But if you haven't ever had your hormones checked and you're experiencing a lot of those, then it's very likely a good time to go get them checked. And if you get your hormones checked, it can do one of two things. It can help you understand why you are feeling the way you're feeling, and help you understand, okay, I'm not going crazy. My hormones are just way out of whack. And your doctor can help you get them back on track. Hey, Samantha, what's up, girl? Hey, Alicia, right? So again, these are important things to understand. If you're having some of those symptoms, if you've never got them checked out, hey, be like me and go get them checked out. It was a reality check for me to be like, okay, it has nothing to do with them being in balance. I'm just not taking care of myself. I'm just not putting myself a priority, and it's time to make myself a priority. And that's where I was, and that very likely maybe where you are right now. Okay, so symptoms is one thing. Let's talk about some of the top factors that affect our hormones. Okay, menstrual cycle is one of them. That's a given. Okay, again, we all go through those. Maybe I'll do another training in here soon regarding that. Hey, Coach Anita, what is up, girl? But some factors that affect your hormone. These are some obvious ones. Some of these are very obvious, and some may not be. Age is, of course, one of them. You guys, as women, our bodies change. So do our hormones. It is what it is. It's something we cannot control. It is life. So that's one of those uncontrollable things. Because as age affects them, obvious, then some of you start to experience the menopause or perimenopause. If anybody right now is experiencing that, because I know a lot of you are in this group. I've had a lot of conversations, and some of you guys are in that perimenopause, and some of you guys may be straight up in menopause or past it or wherever. If you are, share in the comments below if you're okay with that, of course. And I think there's power behind sharing sometimes, because you influence others to let them, you impact others to help them understand like they're not alone, and neither are you. Okay, if you're going through some of these things. Menopause is definitely one of them. Our bodies change, y'all. Our bodies just change, and we just have to adapt. We may need to change if you're, yeah, Shauna, absolutely menopausal, and it sucks. It's part of what our bodies go through that sucks. But being aware of it, I think is hugely impactful for you mentally, to know that you're not going crazy. You're just going through a change. You're just going through a change, and then you need to change and adapt what you do, because you may be going through something right now where your hormones are totally out of whack. You can't necessarily do the same workout routine and the same nutritional program that you did 15, 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago, or you may not be able to do the same one that your friends up the road are doing. You need to do what's best for you, your body, and what it's going through right now in the moment. So age, menopause, menstrual cycle, pregnancy. Hello, mamas in the group. If you're a mama in the group, share below, like, how old are your babies? Okay, mine are 6.5 and 3.5. And you know, just a busy season of life. That everybody's in a busy season of life. It's just the different stages and seasons of life. So they all look a little bit different, but we're all in busy seasons of life, right? Especially if you're a mama as well. So share below, like, the ages of your kids. You guys, as you go through pregnancy, your body changes like crazy. Your hormones change like crazy. Some go back to where you were prior, and a lot of them do not. Okay, so if you've had kids, again, your body went through some amazing changes. Crazy changes. Yes, our body's amazing, y'all. I'm just amazed by what we can actually go through as women, and honor yourself by doing that. You guys, I made a post the other day about this very same thing, because so many times we as women, we go through changes. We gain weight. I gained 60 pounds with both of my kids, and it took forever to get it off. Finally came off after a lot of failures. Hey, Ashley, yeah, 12 and 9. And but your body changes after pregnancy, you guys. We just have to be okay with that and understand it, be patient with ourselves, and slowly get back on track. Honor our bodies, rest, allow our things to go through it, right? Or our bodies to go through it. A couple more things. I can't stress enough that, and this one's kind of, this one's you have to know you. Medications, you guys, can be screwed up your hormones. It can also, medications can also be helping your hormones. That's where it gets really tricky. And that's where you gotta lean on your doctors for that. But you also have to call out your doctors, I think. I've had many conversations also with some women that have been on medications for different things that actually screwed up your hormones. And then I've spoken to some of them that, sometimes they've taken their own route and stopped their own medicine and started feeling better and doing different things. I'm not telling you to do that. So do not take that as me telling you to do that. Go to your doctor and talk about it. But the thing about it is sometimes doctors rush to medicine instead of changing your lifestyle to help positively impact your hormones or different things that are going on in your body. And they're often medication to treat the symptoms, but it's not going to the root cause of what in the world is going on with my body. Some of them are, okay, but some of them are not. Sometimes it's one of my pet peeves, and I know it's a touchy subject, so I'm trying to kind of teeter-totter around this one. But sometimes medications our doctors put us on are worse for us than they are better. They're screwing up our hormones. Not the case for everybody, okay? But that is sometimes the case. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over. And oftentimes, again, doctors are so quick to like, here, take this medicine, take that medicine, take this pill, take that pill. Let's hurry up and get your weight off. So, all the things. But what those things can do is screw up your hormones and screw your body up long term. And that's why I'm so passionate also about don't chase the quick fix. Don't chase the magic pills. They don't exist. Change your lifestyle and do different things. And yes, Coach Anita said it's super important to pay attention to what our bodies are telling us. And that is one of them. I'm studying and I'm listening and learn a lot from Dr. Amen. And I was listening to one of the courses that I'm actually taking from him right now this morning. And we were talking about this very thing. Get to the root of the cause. Get to the root of why is my body changing? Why is my hormones out of whack? Why am I feeling like such crap all the time? Don't put a Band-Aid on it and just treat the symptoms. Get to the root of the cause of it and fix it. And sometimes that can be our lifestyle more than anything else. So medication can cause it. Now, then there's the other end of the spectrum. You may have a legit medical condition that is causing your hormones to be screwed up. Tumors on your pituitary glands, thyroid issues, like all types of things going on. Okay. Again, get with your doctor, but call your doctor out. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. I know many women as well too that have their doctors have tried to shove some medicine on them and they're like, absolutely not. I'm going a different route. I'm not taking 20 different medications because again, it's just the symptoms sometimes. But again, you could have a medical condition that's screwing up your hormones. So get it checked out. That's, like Coach Anita just said, just be aware of what our bodies are telling us and then figure it out. Yeah. But don't feel like you have to do it alone. Oh, I love it. I love it, Anita. Thank you for sharing. She said, it took 4 long years to get my cycle back, but I chose that over a Band-Aid of meds at the age of 38. I knew I was not in menopause that young, but textbooks said I was. And she fought back. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I would love for you to share your story one day out loud for all of these beautiful women in this community to hear that, Anita, because it's so true. And our society, sadly, there's always throwing stuff to help us put a Band-Aid on everything instead of fix the root of the cause or root of the problem, right? And here is another factor that affects our hormones that I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about today. And it's stress. And the number one hormone that is affected in our body, that oftentimes this hormone that causes other issues in our thyroid and our pituitary gland and all these other things, if anybody knows this one, it's cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone in our body. We're made and meant to have cortisol levels in our body. It's the fight or flight. It's natural. It's normal. We're supposed to have cortisol in our body. But when it's at elevated levels, which is often caused by elevated chronic amounts of stress that we're not managing. We're just letting it build up and build up and build up and build up and build up. And then guess what? Our cortisol levels are over the top, super high, super, super high, causing all kinds of issues. Messing with our thyroid, our pituitary gland, our hormones, our brains, all the things. And here's the thing too, also learning from Dr. Amen. I love learning from him, but he tells it like it is. He uses 99%. He says 99% of hormonal imbalances oftentimes come from stress. And guys, long-term stress can have long-term negative effects on our body and our overall hormones and our overall health and our thyroid and all the things. And this is where I get into, technically, we cannot control them. Technically, we can't control them, okay? But we can certainly do things to positively influence even our hormones, you guys. We're not stuck living in fatigue and being miserable and life sucking and always being moody, irritable mama and wife. That, you know, if we stay and feel like we're stuck there, guess what? It affects everybody in our life. It affects our marriages. You guys, I've seen marriages break up so many times, which is really sad, or some just going through some really dark times. Because we're just exhausted and we have nothing to give to anybody. We have nothing left. And sometimes the men don't either. We went through a cycle when we were trying to have kids that wasn't working, and infertility doctors, we went through IUI to have our little girl, and it was my husband's hormones. So it's equally important for them to go get checked out, you guys, because some of them are, exhausted, moody, irritable, just as we can be, and their hormones can easily be out of whack. Theirs is typically testosterone. And if it's out of whack, they can be moody, unmotivated, and not very fun to be around either. So if your husband's that way, maybe encourage them to go get checked equally. Like, hey, let's both go get checked. Let's figure out what's going on with us so we can get our happy life back. Happy wife, happy life. That's a whole nother video. But it's important to understand that stress, you guys, a huge percentage of our imbalanced hormones and long-term, even medical conditions are going on, are influenced by our lifestyle and influenced by the amount of stress that we have going on. And so learning to do different things in your lifestyle that can actually help positively influence is huge. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some things that can positively affect. These are the things that we can control. Again, you guys, you may have some sort of medical condition going on that needs medical attention. These are things that I want to share with you that you can actually do starting now, starting today. Take control. So right now, if you're like, okay, I'm listening, Angela, I'm ready to take control. I'm tired of living like this. I know I can control certain things, so let's do it. Then put take control in the comments and know that you can. You can fight back like Coach Anita did. You can fight back like I did when my doctor told me, Angela, your hormones are fine. You got to get your life back in check. You got to start taking care of you. And so here's some things that you can do. Some of these, and then I'm going to go into more about stress, right? Some of these things can be literally you guys drinking water. How many of you guys struggle with drinking water? Put it in the comments. Water or drop, if you measure it now already and you know how much water you drink on a daily basis, drop below how much you do. We encourage our women on our programs to start at minimum 80 ounces or more, all the way up to a gallon. Yeah, take control. I love it, Caitlin, Melinda. Yes, take control. You guys have control of certain things in your life, and then we have to let go of the things that we don't have control. That's a stress. That is a form of stress. But some positive things that can influence your hormones, water, you guys, something as simple as drinking your water. Your water is the first habit that we work on in our programs that we run. Why? Because it's the most important one. It affects every organ in your body and it affects your weight gain, your weight loss. Water. Something you can start right now, today. Water, drink your water. And if you're someone struggling and you're like, I don't even know how much to drink, 80 ounces, I'm telling you right now, start with 80 ounces. And then you can work your way up to a gallon. Water. Number 2 thing you can start doing is taking some deep breaths throughout the day. How many of you guys ever take a moment to yourself throughout the day? Yeah, Samantha, girl, 2 to 3 bottles a day. I'm going to challenge you right now. Start with 4. Shoot for 4. And when you can consistently get 4, then increase it to 5. and then master 5 and then increase it to 6. You can do it. I know you can. Breathing, taking deep breaths throughout the day. If you struggle and your stress is high, this is a really positive and crazy simple thing that you can do throughout the day. Set reminders on your phone. Set a minimum of 3 reminders on your phone to go off strategically throughout the day. And they need to say, stop, breathe, stop, breathe. Just take 60 seconds if that's all you have, and take some deep breaths, you guys. It can help reduce your stress, which helps reduce your cortisol, the stress hormone, which helps start to regulate your hormones. Yeah, Samantha, those boys, absolutely. Mamas, we need those breathers from just our kids. Like, we love our kids and we love them so much, and they're our worlds, but they can also be a big source of our stress. Okay, so maybe you have to lock yourself in the bathroom to take that 60-second breather. Lock yourself in the bathroom. There is no shame. Or tell your kids, okay, mommy needs a minute before you explode on them because I'm about to lose it. Yeah, we all have those moments, you guys. We're human. So breathing, deep breaths. If you don't take the time right now, then I challenge you right now. Set 3 timers to go off on your phone throughout the day, and take 60 seconds when those timers go off, and do nothing but close your eyes and take deep breaths. Lock your door if you're at your office. Go to the bathroom if you're at work. You can't get away from people, go somewhere. Lock yourself in the closet if you have to. Whatever it takes. I have talked to moms on calls that were locked in the closet because they needed that. That's the only time they could get it. And that's okay. So breathe. The third thing is sleep. How many hours right now? This says, check your mindset. See, it works. Sleep. What does your bedtime routine look like? Do you have a bedtime routine? Do you scroll your phone to fall asleep? Big mistake. Starts to let you can't shut down and get a good night's sleep if you're watching screens. So again, these are things that you can work on for yourself. Sleep is the number one most important thing next to water. And if we're not getting enough sleep, then it starts to screw up our hormones. You guys, it's one of the first things that you can start to work on. How many hours of sleep do you average a night? Drop in the comments if you can. I used to get that time 2 years ago when my doctor said, no, Angela, just get your life back together. You got to start taking care of yourself. I was living on 3 to 4 hours. It's not healthy. 6 to 8 hours is the recommended. Is it realistic for everybody? Probably not, especially if you're in a season of life where you have a little baby that's not sleeping throughout the night. Give yourself grace, okay? Your time will come where they sleep eventually, where you can get that full sleep, but maybe you need to get some naps in there. Don't be scared or afraid or feel guilty to take a nap. I promise. Oh, I love it, Caitlin. I'm so glad to see that you say 6 to 7 because you're a perfect example. We have a 4-month-old. And it's so important to get our sleep. Okay, so that's a huge one. Next one is the exercise. Again, exercise can also help regulate your hormones. Why? Because it also helps you reduce your stress. Okay, and here's the kicker. When I say exercise, if you're someone that has chronic stress, okay, if you're someone your hormones are imbalanced, you don't need hardcore, crazy hour to 2 hour long workouts. I'm going to tell you right now, you will benefit more from low intense yoga, walking, just lower intense exercise program that maybe it's 15 minutes, maybe it's 20 minutes, maybe it's 30 minutes. You don't need hardcore crazy. You don't need to be falling over and falling on the mat, feeling like you're about to die to have success. That is just extra hardcore, too much stress on your body when you're already in this stressed out state. Okay, so if you're right now one of those that are like, I gotta go all or nothing. I gotta have a hardcore crazy workout. I've gotta burn 1,000 calories in a workout or I don't feel like I accomplished anything. I want to tell you right now, slow down. You're doing more damage than you are doing any good if that's your mentality and that's what you have to feel. I know it's really hard to slow down. It's really hard to slow down, but you will benefit more by just taking slow walks. It's going to help your mind. It's going to help you lower your cortisol levels, okay? And yes, like Caitlin just said, I feel so much better exercising daily. Move your body. And again, it doesn't have to be hardcore crazy. Maybe it's taking your kids for a walk. Maybe it's chasing your kids on a bike. That's what we've been doing lately. My daughter learned to ride her bike without training wheels this past week. So proud of her. She owned it. She said, Dad, take my training wheels off. I think it's time. And we were like, okay, let's do it. We tried in the past. Can't push them. When they're ready, they're ready. And of course, we got a ton of steps in because we were chasing her, making sure she didn't fall. But exercise, and again, I want to really, 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 really hone on the fact that low intense will benefit you more. If your hormones are out of whack, or you're feeling all these feelings of stress and fatigue and all the things that I described, low intense. Put low intense in the comments if that's something that it's really hard for you to mentally grasp. Low, 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 low. You don't need high intense all the time. The next few things is all about nutrition, you guys. Nutrition is everything. Your food is your medicine to feel good. Your food is your medicine to even help cure a lot of diseases, or at least get rid of a lot of the symptoms of diseases that you're struggling with every single day. We've seen it. I've had women go through our programs that had autoimmune diseases that, no, we didn't cure their disease. I would not sit here and lie and claim that. She still has them, but she doesn't have the symptoms. One of our beautiful ladies that went through our 12-week program was just fighting life, like had to be driven around all over the place because she was literally losing her eyesight because of her autoimmune diseases. Well, guess what? It was her lifestyle as well that was causing a lot of these symptoms to come up. Now she's living her life. She's 15 pounds down. She's feeling great. She's driving herself all over the place. We didn't cure her disease. We helped her symptoms because we changed her lifestyle, her nutrition. She's sleeping better. We got rid of all the sugary foods and processed foods. Another thing that affects our hormones. If you are living on processed foods, your hormones are probably out of whack. But I will tell you the beautiful thing about this, and the positive thing, is you can fix it. You can change it. You have control over what we eat. And so more healthy whole foods, which is exactly, for those of you guys that are in a detox program right now, one of the biggest benefits of that, following that meal plan, is there is nothing processed in there. There is no process. There's not all the high sugary corn, high fructose corn syrup and all those things that cause a lot of issues with our bodies and our hormones. And not only do they make us gain weight, it affects our hormones big time. So eating lean protein, healthy fats, high fiber, lots of veggies, and fruit. Fruit is huge in your fiber. These are all positive things, especially for us women. They can help positively affect our hormones. Again, I'm going to say this one again, avoid sugary and processed foods, even Diet Cokes, you guys, Diet Cokes, the Coke Zeros, you guys, it doesn't matter. It's still a Coke, in my opinion. Stay away from the high sugary things, the juices, the Cokes. You guys, the healthy choice meals in the freezer section are processed, and they're some of the most unhealthy things with all the processed extra high sugar, high dangerous fats that we can possibly have. So your best bet is to get raw, frozen. You can get frozen. We live on, or I don't live on it, but we a ton of frozen like chicken, but it's all raw. Cook things yourself. If you can cook things yourself, spend 30 minutes in the kitchen on the weekends to prepare some food for you for the week. And yes, you can do it in 30 minutes. You do not have to spend hours in the kitchen. I've got a video in here somewhere. If you need that, put meal prep video in the comments and I'll tag you in it. You can watch it. I'm showing you literally how I meal prep in 30 minutes. I timed myself that day on the video and it was 30, I think it was like 32 minutes. But I meal prepped all my food for the week, or my lunches and snacks, which is typically what I prep. If I can do it, you can do it. I don't like to cook. So if you don't like to cook, we'll be best friends. We can relate. So avoid sugary and processed foods. I'm going to say it again. Here's another thing. The worst thing that you can do for your hormones, and for even you just trying to lose weight, when you're high stressed, your hormones are out of whack, you got a lot of high demands on all the things. The worst thing you can do is starve yourself. Okay, I want you to really understand, when you starve yourself of calories, you're not eating enough. Guess what? That is an additional stress on your body, where your body is in a really high stress levels, fighting for food, fighting for fuel. Yes, Marietta, share it. Shoot it over to me. I'd love to check it out. Or you can drop it here in the comments too. I'm totally cool with that. She just said she wanted to share a fabulous app she found this weekend. It says, eat this much. Shoot it over to me. I'd love to check it out. We as women, we all need as much support as we possibly can. Don't starve yourself, but also don't overeat. Like you don't, and overeating comes from starving yourself. When you starve yourself and we get so busy because we're not prepared, and then you've got 12 hours went by, 8 hours went by, however long, we go into what I call a food emergency, where you are like, oh gosh, I've got this food emergency. I'm starving. I'm hangry. My discipline just went out the window because I'm so starving and hangry. So I'm gonna eat whatever the heck is in sight. And guess what? We probably choose something that's gonna be way over and all the things. Instead of eating, a 300 to 400 calorie meal, which throughout the day, smaller meals throughout the day is how we teach. Then you might end up 1,000, 1,500 calories at one meal because you're so hungry you went through a drive-through instead. Like, guys, it's a cycle that a lot of people go through, and it's okay. The beauty of it is you can control it and you can break the cycle. That's what we're here to help you guys do. So don't overeat, but don't starve either. Don't go to intermittent fasting just because it's easy. Guys, intermittent fasting is something extent, but what I don't believe in is doing it because I just don't like breakfast. It's not something to do because everybody else is doing it. Does it work? It can work. Absolutely. There's a lot of positive benefits to it, but it can also lead to starvation because we're doing it for the wrong reasons. Okay. So the last two things that can positively affect your hormones that I'm going to share, one is losing weight. Believe it or not. Like if you're overweight right now, that's okay. Guys, know that there's a way, and some of these things I'm talking about can be your way to help you do it. Losing weight can truly help your hormones. And then stress management. You guys, like I said, cortisol is the stress hormone. It's a fight or flight. When it's super high on an average basis, you're going to end up with high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar typically, increased belly fat, muscle loss. You got to learn to manage your stress. Again, some of the stresses that we can stay away from or limit is too much exercise can actually do you more harm than good. Having too much sugar, too much flour in your diet, lack of sleep, drinking too much caffeine or even alcohol. You guys, some of us that go to alcohol until the end of the day to wind down, try going to something else. Try to go for evening walks. Can you have alcohol? And yes, I'm a big believer in once in a while. I like to enjoy a White Claw and a Truly and little things by the pool sometimes. It's not a daily habit though. Too much electronic stimulation. You guys, if you're going to bed scrolling your phones, that is the one thing I would tell you right now could start to change your life. You could literally just stop scrolling to go to bed, put it aside, and then toxic people in your life. Man, we got to learn to either eliminate them or at least limit them if we can't truly eliminate them. You guys, whatever causes your stress. So right now I want to encourage you, stress management. Put stress management in the comments. This is the very first thing and the most important thing that I think you can truly start to work on to help fight your hormones, which will also help you lose weight, which will also help you get rid of stomach bloat, because stress causes inflammation in our bodies. Stress can also be a factor of why your stomach's always bloated. You guys, it's not just about food. It's not just I gained all this weight. Yeah, Marietta, sugar makes me feel terrible. Yeah, same here. You guys, I went on a splurge not that long ago. It was a holiday. I can't remember which one, but I ate way too much sugar. And I just literally felt ill the next day, like I had the flu, because it was too much sugar. There's a lot of negative impacts of it in your body. So the most effective way to treat, you guys, your hormone imbalance, the way to help you actually get there and keep it there, is finding a stress management. Treat the cause, not the symptoms. Okay, you're tired and fatigued, don't run to caffeine. That was the biggest mistake I was doing in the past too. I was running on fumes, drinking so many cups of coffee a day, which it was actually doing the opposite. It was doing worse, wasn't sleeping, wasn't exercising, and I wasn't eating regularly either. Because I was either running to my computer or chasing the kids or teaching a group fitness class or all the things that I was trying to do, but I wasn't doing anything for me. So if you're someone right now that's not doing anything for you, then I want you to drop in the comments too, like, it's time for me. And then just pick one thing that I talked about today and start implementing it. Whether it's a bedtime routine, starting to get more sleep, starting to exercise, even if it's a 10-minute walk a day, it's all you got time for, then get me 10 minutes. It's all I ask for. And get in my inbox if you guys have questions, you need extra support. Like, I'm here. I'm always happy to chat with you about some things, direct you to a training that we've got going on in here. Yeah, Angie, it is time for you, girl. And the beautiful thing is when we take control and we truly start to work on ourselves, you're working on your family. You're giving back to your family when you work on yourself. Okay, you deserve it. Yes, Coach Lori just chimed in and said you deserve it. And then again, be on the lookout. I'm going to put a link above this video, and I'll do some more posting throughout this week as well too. But we're going to do a free challenge that's going to have to do with that 10-minute walk a day. I'm going to start encourage you. We're going to have some accountability, a free challenge in here that's going to start next week. So if you want to be a part of it, I'll drop a link above so you can sign up so we can help you with that accountability. It's going to have to do with a 10-minute exercise every day. Maybe that's a walk for you. Maybe it's holding your planks, all the things. 10 minute exercise every single day. I don't care what it is. We're not going to get super specific. We're just going to hold you accountable to do something starting next week, so you guys can all be a part of it. It's a free challenge. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite anybody and everybody. They're all welcome. So you guys, we went super long today, but there's so much to talk about when it comes to hormones. I could go for another hour, but I won't do that to you. Love y'all. Thank y'all for listening to me. Questions, ask below. Those of y'all in the detox program we're running, y'all rocking it. Today's day 1. Let's rock it. And then free challenge. As soon as I hop off, I'll share the details above this video as well too, and more to come. But yeah, get signed up. We'll hold you accountable of some activity to help reduce your stress. Love you guys. Bye, Jen. Bye, Marietta. You all have a good day.